Okay, then good evening once again, everybody. Welcome once again to this free training webinar tonight, The Secrets of Elite Hypnotists, which we have creatively subtitled How to Book More Shows, Get More Clients, Sell More Products, Get Better Results, Raise Your Prices, and Make More Money from Your Hypnosis Business in 2012. My name is Rob Temple. Very excited to have you all here. There are still people coming into the room, so I'm just going to tread water for a couple of minutes. And then we will get this webinar on the road. Now, once again, as I mentioned, over on the right-hand side, you have a questions box. So as we go through this, if you have any questions, please do feel free to type your questions into that questions box, and we'll try and answer them as we go through, or maybe we'll have a little bit of time at the end. We're going to try and keep this webinar down to about an hour, so we shouldn't be here for too long, as it is 10 past midnight here in the UK, and I know that I'm happy to try and get some sleep. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to unmute Jonathan, who is also on the call, and Jonathan should now be able to speak. Are you there?
I am indeed, Rob. Yes, I am
You are.
indeed. Good evening, everybody.
There was a terrifying pause then for just a moment when I thought you weren't going to be there, but you were. That's cool.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Good. Pattern interrupt. So
Yeah.
what we are going to do is we'll just wait for a minute or two. We've still got a couple of people pouring into the room. We've got loads of people here. I'll tell you what, just if you're interested, just type your name and where you're from into the chat box, and we'll give you a little shout out. It'll be really interesting to see all the different countries, and because I know our subscribers are all over the world. So I'll be really interested just to see how many people are out and where they're all from and things. So nobody's typed it yet. Everybody's gone shy. We've got Steve Lucas in. Oh, I need to widen that, but I can't see what he's put. Steve Lucas in Burnham-on-Sea here in the UK. Randy Bucher, I think, in Minnesota. Paul in Dublin. Or Paul in one of the two. Chris from Austin in Texas. Good to have you with us. Somebody here in London. We got Karen from Cape Coral in Florida. Rob
Tremendous.
from Sheffield. Oh, I imagine that's Rob from Facebook, Rob.
Rob
Arjan is from
Romanis, yeah.
Holland. Yeah, fantastic part of the world, Holland. We've got Jared from Hampshire. Good to have you with us. Lots of UK folks. Somebody from the Czech Republic. I was holidaying in Prague just a couple of weeks ago. That was a lovely, lovely holiday. Michael Skirving, good to have you on the call. This Michael. I hope you're well.
Indeed,
Luther in
sir.
Atlanta. Glenn says we're breaking up a little bit. Okay. Um, Rob says, yes, it's Rob McManus. Nice to meet you. Steve from Colorado. Blessings from Germany. Hello, Jan. Welcome to the call. Just going to clear down some of these messages. Good to have you all with us. All right, then. Well, I think we have left people long enough to get here. So if they do get here... oh, Joseph. Oh, hello. Hi, Joseph. How you doing? So I think we've given people long enough to join us on the webinar, and if they want to come and join in halfway through, they can. So a couple of quick parish notices. Once again, you've got the questions box. Any questions you've got as we go through, feel free to type those into there, and we'll be happy to help you out. You can either aim them at Jonathan, myself, or both of us. Don't forget, we've got a free gift for you, which we're going to give you right at the very end of this call, so do hang on for that. It's worth $97. I don't think we've ever given it away for free. I might be wrong, but I don't think we have. But anyway,
We haven't. Can I just, before we get started, Bob D from New Jersey says, if we are live, I have a problem as I have no sound. So sorry, guys.
okay,
Any
that's a little strange.
suggestions, Rob?
Everybody else, I presume everybody else can hear us because they are typing to us. Jos says he has an echo, echo, echo. Again, I think that's pretty much got to be your speakers rather than the system. I know I've got it open on a separate computer and I'm listening it to myself, so I know that it's sounding all right and nobody else is complaining right now. I'm afraid those are the problems you get from being on the internet. Bob D from Has It Loud and Clear. Good, you managed to get it sorted. Good stuff. All right, cool. So we're going to get this webinar show on the road.
Indeed.
I'm going to be. Oh, Dave from Wellington sounds fine. Hello. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. What we've Jonathan and I sat down and we talked about what we were going to share with you guys tonight, and we were going to make a big, long, strict presentation with slideshows, and then we thought, that's not very conducive to good learning. It's not going to be very helpful to you. So what we decided really instead was that we'd really just kind of have a mastermind session, have a kind of brainstorm, and share loads of good content with you guys. And as I said, if you've got any questions as you go, you can ask us them and we'll do our best to answer. So, okay, Michael says his sound isn't working. All right, hopefully you can get that fixed, Michael. If he even heard what I just said. We never know, do we? All right, then. So probably the best place to start right now is if we kind of introduce ourselves. I know a lot of you will never have heard of us. There are a few people here who have, but I know a lot of people who haven't. So with that said, I will, first of all, I've been talking a lot already. I'm going to hand you over to Jonathan. Do you want to go ahead and quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, okay. Good evening, everyone. This is about how to make more money from hypnosis. So what I'm about to say, I'm not saying it to sound big-headed or show off. It's just to illustrate that some of the techniques that we're going to share, they are the actual techniques that Rob and me have been using to achieve the things that are going to sound that little bit big-headed. So, for example, in last week alone, without having to do any particular work on my part, i.e. using product creation, which is something I'll talk about later, which is something that if you're not doing and you're not already selling products that are unique and original to you on the internet, then you're missing out on a major, major money earner. Because, for example, last week alone, I pulled in excess of $20,000 whilst I was asleep, essentially, as in having automated websites where people can go, click, buy things, and then they get instant downloads. So you don't even need to physically send products out to people, and that is something that I definitely want to give you the shortcuts to in a few moments' time. Shows-wise, for those people who are into the show-busy side of hypnosis as opposed to hypnotherapy, I'm very fortunate that over the years I've kind of carved a niche where I can now be, taken out to places like Bahrain or Barbados for Richard Branson celebrity parties and pick up all the business class flights and the top class hotels and thousands of pounds for just walking on stage for an hour and, well, frankly, making people look stupid. So whether your desire is to do the fun side of stuff or the more serious side of stuff, helping people, one key thing between those two is that there are only so many hours in the day. There are only so many hours when you can book yourself out to see clients in person, or only so many shows you could possibly do, generally speaking, because obviously of travelling to venues and stuff. So there is a limit, ultimately, to how much money you can earn if you're just going to go down that charging your time by the hour route, which is why I'd suggest you need to get some products together. And here's the thing. All of you, within the next 10 minutes, if you've got pen and paper, I'm going to tell you exactly how to have your first products on sale within the next sort of 48 hours. And it is as simple as this. It sounds ridiculously too simple, but it is this simple. First thing to do, if you've not already got one, get yourself, order a cheap digital, one of these dictaphone things. The one I've got here, I'm just pulling it out of my drawer now. It's an Olympus digital voice recorder, and it's got a model number of VN4100PC. It cost me just under £30 sterling, so I think that's in the rounds of about $45–50 off Amazon. And you get a little microphone with that, so you can record, and it records it in MP3 format. So you can then very easily drag and drop whatever you've recorded onto your computer, and then you've got various choices. You can sell it as an MP3 download, or you could burn it to disk as a proper audio information product. Or, and this is what I'm suggesting to you do, sit down, pick a subject matter, doesn't matter what it is, but something that you know about, and just assume that the person who's going to buy your product doesn't have your experiences, doesn't have your knowledge, doesn't have your insights and perspective on things, so they can learn from you the things you've been doing in your normal business, as it were. And just imagine you're explaining that to somebody over the phone, and talk to your digital recorder and explain as much stuff as you can. And then what you can do, this is really dead quick, you've then got an audio file which gives you some sort of perceived valuable product, on that particular subject matter. So you might choose, off the top of my head, your particular structure for doing a smoking cessation session, because you happen to have done loads of them, or you've come up with some funky way of putting different techniques together in a different order. Record all that in audio, and then go online on the internet and find the website Elance, ELANCE.com. And basically on that site you can find somebody who will, if you email them that audio MP3 file, for a minuscule amount of money, they will transcribe it, they'll type it up, so then it becomes a PDF. So you've then got a PDF product on that subject matter, which comes with the free bonus audio. Now the audio obviously is exactly what's in the PDF file, but it gives people the option to listen and read, two learning styles, which gives it added perceived value. And that is something you can literally have from start to finish. Sit down with a digital recorder, talk to it for, an hour, and it's not difficult at all to talk for an hour. Time flies if you just imagine that you're talking to somebody who knows nothing about that subject on the end of a phone line, an imaginary phone line, and you're explaining every little thing they need to know. And generally speaking, the stuff that you currently take for granted, the stuff that you think is too simple, will be the stuff that people actually get value from by buying the product. So stuff that you think, oh, it's not worth mentioning that's too obvious, everyone would know that. Generally speaking, it's my experience that it's the stuff that we ourselves think is commonplace or should just be common sense or is blindingly obvious. It's those things that other people are missing, so that they will learn from what you think is obvious. So you'll soon find you've got loads of material there in the audio. You get it transcribed by somebody on elance.com. You should be able to get that done and converted into a PDF for realistically in the rounds of less than $50. So even with buying your digital recorder, if that costs you $50, for less than $100, you have got your first PDF and you've got an audio product. Now you need to sell that. Obviously, it's no good having a product if nobody knows about it. Now there's a really quick way to do this. Your PDF, if you upload that to Amazon Kindle, and all you've got to do is go on google.com, type in publish on Amazon Kindle, sign up for a free Amazon account, and then you can literally upload your file. It's idiot proof. If I can do it, and I'm not computer literate at all, anybody can do it, trust me. There's literally a box that goes, choose a file, and it's just like opening a file on your computer, and it uploads it. It will then convert it to a Kindle edition, and this doesn't cost you anything, okay? And that, you then write your little bit of an advert, and that will go live on Amazon Kindle's site within 48 hours, generally sooner. Now I've got, if you go on Amazon Kindle and type in Jonathan Royle, I've got about 24 different titles up there. Now that's not because I'm any kind of prolific writer or anything. In actual fact, some of them are things that I bought resale rights on that allowed me to rebrand the product and put my name on. So I didn't even need to do any work to get the product. And that's something that we'll talk about a bit later, sources where you can get resale right products from. But we'll assume that you put your own together, you get it up on Amazon Kindle. It is ridiculously easy. It tells you step by step, upload the file, it does all the conversion for you, you don't need to be technically minded, and you just write your advert. Now what do you put in the advert? Well, the advert quite clearly, and this does sound ridiculously simple again, is imagine you're explaining to the person over the phone, the imaginary person you had before that helped you put your audio product together that led to the PDF. Imagine that you're explaining to them what that product teaches. What are the bullet points? What are the benefits to them? Is it that they're going to learn 7 new strategies and techniques that help people remain confident, happy, healthy, relaxed non-smokers for longer? Or is it that you've come up with a quirky way of advertising it? Think of what the benefits are and put them into your text and get as many keywords in there as you can. If you have a look at some of my listings on Amazon Kindle, you'll see that within the text I will I'll use a phrase, for example, like on my hypnosis book, that this will teach you all there is to know about hypnotherapy, NLP, stage hypnosis, hypnotism, mesmerism, because all those are different words that people may be searching for when they're looking to buy a Kindle download or an ebook, because they obviously also supply them in other formats. Now, I can tell you from experience that just putting a few simple products together like that doesn't really take much work, can pull you in a good 5, 6, 7, sometimes more, especially around Christmas when people are getting bought new Kindles and stuff, dollars per month on autopilot. Because once you've made that product, you're making money while you're asleep. You just literally get sent a check at the end of each month. Well, you get sent a couple of checks, one for the sales on the American site, one for sales you made on the UK site, and one for European sales. And it is that simple. It's just a lot of people are scared of actually releasing a product because something in their head says, well, who's heard of me? Why would people buy it? Well, trust me, the moment you are seen to be advertising a product on somewhere like Kindle, it instantly gives you a perceived credibility and professionalism. Even hypnotists, who frankly should know better because we work with expectancy and manipulating clients' beliefs and perceptions, still will look on there and go, wow, this person's a published author. And it gives you immediately a credibility and a persona. And that is in itself will lead to sales. But the knock-on effect is you will also increase your Google rankings and appearances, and it will lead to clients, one-to-one clients, or if you're teaching hypnotherapy, you'll get more people contacting you. It's a knock-on effect. But that's one thing you can do to get started really, really, really quickly. What are your thoughts on that, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to quickly say hello and introduce myself, I know a lot of people here won't have actually heard of me, and that kind of really just emphasizes what Jonathan just said. You know, you don't have to be a well-known name, you don't have to be a celebrity in your marketplace whatsoever in order to be successful. So I'm going to very quickly introduce yourself. If you look on the screen, you'll see there's a couple of photographs. The one over there on the left, sitting on the chair, that is Jonathan. The one on the other side with the bright red hair, that's me. I am 24 years old. Again, I live here in the UK, bang in the very centre of the UK, and I'm actually a former student of Jonathan. Back around about 10 years ago, when I was 14, I studied hypnosis with Jonathan. When I was studied it for actually a couple of years, just really because I didn't have the confidence to go out and try it. So when I was about 16, I thought, right, I can do this now. People are more likely to take me seriously. I went out there into the world and started implementing what I'd learned. That was obviously 8 years ago. I'm now 24. I've never had a proper job. I've never worked for anybody else. I've always been self-employed. I am now one of the busiest working hypnotists in the UK, or I am when I choose to. Right now, I've decided to take December completely off. But when I choose to be, I'm one of the busiest working hypnotists in this country. It is a fairly small country, but there are still quite a lot of working hypnotists in the UK. Last month alone, my business turned over in excess of $28,000. That's from a combination of doing shows, therapy sessions, corporate speaking, and also selling products as well in the way that Jonathan just talked about. So, with that said, I completely agree with everything that Jonathan just said. In fact, this is something that I'm going to be doing in January myself, as I am just putting the finishing touches onto my first actual book, although my book is going to be for the general public rather than for hypnotists. It's a self-development type book. And the first place that I do will be to put it onto the Kindle. Again, it gives you incredible kind of perceived sort of expertise amongst the public, and you know, when you can then put on your website published author and all the rest of it. And of course, you can also take the same book, the same manuscript, and you can have it self-published as an actual book. You know, you can very, very cheaply. You can either have it just made, so you have a bunch of them. So you know that you order, say, 500 or 1,000 copies or 100 copies, or alternatively, you can have it printed on demand by a company like cafepress.com or lulu.com in the UK.
Cheaper than that now is Amazon, again leading the way. Createspace.com.
I've not come across them, so I'll have to have a look.
It actually does turn out to be on a per unit basis, sort of a little bit dearer than some other services. However, the plus point is that it doesn't cost you anything to get set up, and that also includes the fact that it doesn't cost you anything to be set up to a level where you've actually got a proper ISBN number for your book, which means it's properly catalogued with all the copyright places, which gives you even more prestige and perceived credibility, because it means once it's ISBN, within a few weeks it'll start showing up on every major bookseller's website, which it's really nice to be able to say, you know, I'm a published author and you can get my books in England, for example, WH Smith and Waterstones. And the truth is that all of my books, for example, are available from WH Smith and Waterstones, but only off their website. But it is a truthful statement, so you're not breaking any laws, but the perception that gives people is one that immediately they attach more professionalism and expertise towards you. So if they book for a therapy session, for example, they're sort of arguably more hypnotized before they get to you, and in more of a state of mind to be receptive than they would be going to someone whose website clearly didn't make any mention of them being a published author. Because generally speaking, the general public think published authors are an authority, an expert in their area. And if you think you're going to see an expert, then it's more likely that your expectations of it working are going to be increased, which with hypnotherapy, let's face it, is the beginning, the middle, and end of everything we do. It's manipulating perceptions and beliefs. So as well as this making you good money, because it's dead easy to get started, just talk for an hour. You know, you don't have to do it all in one sitting. Talk for 10 or 15 minutes into your digital recorder, and then turn it off and go and make a brew. Just wait till you've got at least, say, an hour's worth of audio, and then get that PDF done, or upload it to CreateSpace, where you can, you know, have it available as a printed book at a dearer price. But the beauty is, again, you don't have to pay out any money up front. I'm all for being able to set things up where you don't have to invest money up front, but the end result is you end up receiving money through the post every month for doing nothing on autopilot. So, I mean, you can also say the audio and the PDF could be put onto a data CD or data DVD-ROM, and you could have a nice graphic done for the disc and the cover, which again can be done very cheaply on something like elance.com. Get somebody to do it for about $20. Or you could do a basic one for free on a site. I forgot how to spell it, Rob, and I've got it in my favourites. It's kunaki.com. I believe it's Kunaki.
Yeah.
For $1, they will produce your disc, burn it, do the on-body print, package it up, shrink wrap it so it looks like something you buy off the shelf in the high street, and for a little small couple of dollars on top, they will post it out direct to your customer for you, so you don't even have to bother having these in stock, and you only need to pay for them when you've already taken money off the customer, which is beautiful. So you don't have any cash flow problems. You're only spending money when you've already taken an amount of money bigger than that, and that's kunaki.com.
Just to quickly jump in there, we've got Jos, I think it is asked, was this website that you mentioned before elance.com? Yes, it's in freelance.com, but just it's elance.com, especially as you've spelt it. And again, just as Jonathan was saying there for Randy, it is Kunaki, which is kunaki.com. It's a great service. I use them for all of my DVDs, all of my CDs, and everything. Every physical product that I have and sell. And if you want to do a show or something, you can just order a bunch in and have them sent to you and then take them out. But otherwise, sell them on the web and just order them when you get them. Just very quickly, I want to just try something just to test the power of technology. I want to run a very quick poll with everybody in this webinar today, just to get an interesting kind of thing out of the way. What I want to do is to let me just very quickly click this button here, and everybody should now get a poll in front of you that should ask, how would you describe your current status as a hypnotist? And if you could all tick that little box. Currently 7% of people have voted, 18% of people have voted, 27%, 30%, we're getting there, 43%, we're getting there, 61%. If you could just tick beginner, intermediate, advanced or full-time professional. This is really just to give us a kind of idea as to who we're talking to. We're still only on 64% so far. So if we could get a few more people voting, 68% there, that's good, 70%. We're getting closer and closer. I'm going to keep pestering it till everybody.
While people are ticking that, let me just share some more nuggets here. And I think probably, you know, a good way to share some really valuable information is, let me tell you exactly how I started. I started with, product-wise, with no products and no desire to spend absolutely fortunes of money on creating them, because I wanted to prove that there was money to make first. So here's something you could do. Pick a subject matter, and it doesn't matter whether it's like going to be a case of you coming up with your own approach to therapy or your new induction idea for stage shows and trying to sell it to other hypnotists, or if it's actually like a self-help product. But put together a plan of information. And let me tell you, if you go on something like Amazon.com, say, I'll use the example of smoking, okay? Say you went on Amazon.com and you typed in smoking cessation, you'd get things such as Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking, various other things. I found that if you take any subject matter, type it into Amazon.com, and then search for the 5 most popular books, and you purchase those 5 books, that when you've read those 5 books, you don't need to read anything else, and you will be an expert in that subject matter. Meaning you can take bullet points from each of those 5 books, NLP will call this modelling, slightly adapt them, and before you know it, you've got more than enough information there to book on a sort of half-day or even one-day workshop. Now that you sell tickets to by putting an advert together and sticking the tickets up on eBay. So it's very cheap for you to put your ad up, you know, maybe £1 per ad or $1, depending where you are in the world. And make sure you've got all the keywords in there that people might be looking for. So if it was smoking, it's stop smoking, smoking cessation, health and all that kind of stuff. If it was a product teaching therapists how to stop people smoking, obviously you put in there hypnotherapy training, the NLP, and all the keywords that people just think, what would you have been searching for when you started out, and ensure that those words are in the advert. And sell the tickets, put on there that the tickets are normally like 500 quid for this one-day event. But obviously on eBay, everyone wants a bargain. So you put the price, starting price, maybe $47 rather than $497, for example, so that people feel they're getting a bargain, but in truth, you're not particularly bothered how much these tickets sell for. All you want is sort of a dozen sales at least, so that you can cover the cost with the money that those people give you to hire the function room in the town you've advertised the event's going on in. Now what you do is you advertise that it's being done at a secret location that will only be shared with the people who book. So that way you don't have to book the venue until somebody has actually paid you. So when they paid you for the tickets, you book a cheap venue. It can be the top of a working men's club in England, a community centre, a training room. If you're in America, you can get rooms actually quite cheaply in casinos. Well, in Vegas you can. But this is already covered by the cost of the tickets. You then go, as I did initially, and buy a very, very cheap digital camcorder, which, you know, is going to cost you a couple of $100. And you can get this on credit if need be, if you haven't got the money there and then. And you film the event essentially, but at the same time in your pocket you have your audio, digital MP3 recorder that we spoke about earlier with the microphone plugged in. So you also end up with an audio sound recording of the event. And at the end of that day, you have then got a video product and an audio product. And if you were to send the audio to, for example, elance.com, they can turn it into a transcript, and then suddenly you've got a complete home study package of video, audio, and work manual that you, because of that kind of, wow, it's a complete course rather than just a book, means you can then, rather than getting $20 or $30 for a book, you can mark this up at like $97 and get it all automated on something like Kunaki, so that you don't even have to ship things out to the customer. So it is all automated, and that's really how I got started. Now, just to answer, why is it difficult? I'm just going off on one here, but why is it so difficult to find stage hypnosis insurance in the UK? Rob has asked. The answer is quite simply because they don't understand what stage hypnosis is, and unfortunately, stage hypnotists in general are not as honest as me and Rob to turn around and say it's all social compliance and basically human psychological manipulation of people. They want to give the perception that there is some mystical power going on, and the insurance companies don't understand that. And that is why, you know, it's hundreds and hundreds of pounds for stage hypnosis insurance, but for therapy you can get it for like £40 a year, which arguably therapy is putting people at far more risk of emotional harm. So, I mean, that just going off on one answers that question. Somebody's asked, would you suggest to have books MP3s made in English rather than a language such as Dutch? The answer to that is, if you've got the ability or the inclination to get people to interpret your work into loads of different languages, then obviously you're increasing your potential profit areas. Because I can tell you now that Korea, Japan, China, Malaysia and places like that are just really getting big into NLP and life coaching training out there. So if you can get stuff converted into their language by somebody perhaps on elance.com, then you really are widening your marketplace. And you've only got it the once to do. Or do a joint venture with somebody. Find someone who speaks that language and offer them a share of the proceeds. Now, in the long term, that means you can be paying them out money for the rest of your life, but you're only paying it out when you've made money. That's something people forget about joint ventures. They think, oh, I don't want to give money to other people. But the point is, you will make more money when you work in teams and do projects with other hypnotists. And also, you're not having to pay them out anything until sales have been made. And this is something I know that Rob can certainly talk about, because he's sort of the one who got me into doing joint ventures rather than just trying to sell all my stuff myself. Didn't you, Rob? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one thing that one thing we've talked about obviously is making products and selling them on the internet. But a lot of the time, you know, people kind of then even if they get that far, they then don't do anything with it. Now, just to kind of really talk about this a little bit, there are, you know, lots of people on this call tonight, and every single one of you could go away at the end of tonight and you know, tomorrow, the day after, or by the end of the weekend, have your own product made in the exact way that Jonathan's just described.
Especially if you use the resources on the free gift we're giving them at the end. Exactly, that breaks it down. Yeah.
No particular effort to themselves. And again, when you get your free gift at the end, that's going to tell you how that all happens. But when you have made your own product, you will. I'm going to answer Gary's question in just a moment. I can see he's just typed it. Once you've made your product, every single one of you could have done that by the end of the weekend. I can tell you, unfortunately, and I'd love you all to prove me wrong, I can tell you, unfortunately, probably 1% of you will actually do it. Now, the reason I'm telling you this, and it's a little bit controversial, you know, people like to motivate and big you up and say, yeah, you can go and do this. The truth is, only 1% of you will. And the reason is that most people just don't take action on anything. So this is why I'm explaining this to you. 100% of you could, 1% of you probably will, although I'd love you to prove me wrong. And the 1% who actually get their products out there and actually selling, then probably won't do much more with it. So you need to start driving visitors into the sales websites that are selling your stuff, whether that's Amazon or somewhere else. Now, if you've got your own sales pages, and look, we're getting lots of questions about this in the chat box, so this may be something you guys are interested in. Maybe someday we could do like a sort of a live proper webinar course about making products and putting them up on the internet with nice sales pages and all the rest of it. So if you want to make a stop smoking product and put it on the internet, we can teach you how to do that. I already have one. Although it's currently sold out, it's off sale at the moment, but simplequittingsystem.com is mine. But if any of you are interested in learning how to do all of that kind of stuff, let us know in the chat box. We might be able to arrange some kind of course. Obviously, it wouldn't be a free opportunity. We're doing several weeks of webinars teaching it. But if you'd be interested, let us know. Maybe we can do something on that in the future. But yeah, once you've got your website actually up there and ready to rock and roll, you then actually need to get some visitors to it. If you've got a shop and nobody walks past it, you're not going to make any sales. So one of the quickest and easiest ways to get visitors to your website is to get somebody else to drive them there. So you can recruit affiliates and joint venture partners who will drive visitors to your website, and you pay them a commission on every sale that they generate. And really, it's like having a full sales team working for you, but you only have to pay them when they actually get results. They're on commission-only basis. So it's better than having a shop. You don't have any of the big overheads that shops have. They have to pay their staff, on an hourly wage, whether they sell anything or not. You only have to sell your sales team if they actually make their sales. So, it all works out really, really well. So it's the quickest, it's easiest, it's more or less the only way that I drive traffic to any of my websites on the internet right now. Now, Gary's just said, so there's no real money in stage, hang on, just let me check the end of that, stage hypnosis. I need to be a perceived expert in flog seminars. Jonathan, blah, blah, blah,
how do you become a Royle bullshitter? Right, now let me just say, we've talked about therapy and making products. Let's talk about stage hypnosis. There is actually a lot of money to be made from stage hypnosis if you frankly can be bothered doing it. And that's the other thing, getting off your ass and putting this into action. But if you get yourself a cheap digital camcorder and tripod, and you take the time to actually record a smoking cessation, a weight loss, a stress management, and a confidence boosting, and also a phobia cure audio CD, or you go down the even lazier route of buying them that come with resale rights, so that you could perhaps get them with resale rights off me, which I do supply them, and then that gives you the right to copy and sell them and put your name on and picture on the covers and that. The fact is, yes, in England, for example, it's happening around the world a lot. People have got less and less budgets for live entertainment, and venues are closing and what have you. But you can still make good money if you're prepared to look at the show as the opportunity for selling stuff at the back of the room. So you may have to take slightly less money for the show itself initially, if you've not got your foot in the door and established and perceived expert in your niche, as it were. But you film that show, essentially. You film the show, and you also sell your smoking, your weight loss. You look at it as not so much as a show, although you're there to entertain. You look at it as proof of your hypnotic skills, but then make it logical for people to believe that those CDs or personal sessions with you, which you can also upsell to them at the end of the show, will work for them. You also make available copies of the show on DVD, because obviously the people who take part want to see what they've done, and family and friends there may want to embarrass them in the future by having a DVD record. So you charge them money for that. You take the money on the night and say you'll send the discs on, which you do. You just basically upload the file from the camcorder up to Kanaki, and that can be automated. That saves you having to bother about buying equipment for burning discs. And the money you can make off the DVD sales and the CD sales can be worth hundreds of pounds a night, as long as you're getting yourself into venues where there's quite a lot of traffic there, a lot of people there. But unfortunately, that catch-22 is, just because a venue's got a lot of traffic and a lot of potential audience doesn't mean that they particularly necessarily have a big budget for entertainment. But it doesn't matter, as long as you can get yourself in the door, because you can make your money selling stuff at the back of the room and not. It amazes me when I see a stage hypnotist who isn't selling CDs at the back of the room, or all the selling is weight loss and smoking. No, you need smoking, you need weight loss, you need confidence, because confidence covers for 1,000,001 things, stress relief, which covers for 1,000,001 things, and you need the phobia ones to maximize your earning potential. You must have business cards with you. So many, it's amazing how many times people don't have them at shows. After a show, you will get people coming up asking for one-to-one therapy as well. That's where you take more money off them. And you know, you can motivate them by giving them a leaflet. This is what I call the psychic fair principle, psychic party principle. You can say, look, to stop you smoking, I charge £250 UK sterling. However, if you get 4 or 5 of your friends together at the same time who also want to stop smoking, rather than charging you £250 each, what I will do is I will let you have your session free of charge for being the organizer, and I will just charge your friends £97 each, and to sweeten the deal, I'll give them the backup CD that normally costs another £47 as a free gift. Now that sounds like, well, hang on, rather than getting 6 potential 250 quids, we're just getting 5 lots of 100 quid, so that's only 500 quid. But here's the thing, you're going to treat all the people at the same time. So where you could have been earning £250 for treating one person and it taking an hour, you can have everyone, all 5 or 6 of them, close their eyes at the same time and just simply use the phrase, I'm talking to everybody in the room, and you do the exact smoking session as you would on a one-to-one level, but with everyone listening. It takes you the same amount of time, but you end up with 500 quid in that example at the end of it, which means you're getting more money for your time. It's about actually just taking action. And it's not a case of going, oh, I'll do that one thing or I'll do that other thing. It is truly, I would say, about doing them all. You've got to start somewhere first, and I would say the product creation, the PDF audio route that I mentioned earlier is a really quick way of getting started. But you need to be throwing all of these things out there, because then it becomes like a big snowball. And people sometimes fall into the trap when they start making money of thinking, well, I've got that many clients or that many shows, or I'm happy with the amount of money coming in, that I don't need to do anything else now. And the truth is that when you are busiest is when you should be capitalizing more, because when you're busiest is when you can say, hey, you've got a waiting list, which it becomes a fulfilling prophecy of the busier you are, the more people will want your time because you seem to be good at what you do, and that's why you're busy. It's also easier then to manipulate TV and radio companies and the local and national media to do articles on you, which is something I wish we had more time to cover. But you know, I believe that if you can get clients without paying out money, then that is the best way. The less money you invest, the bigger your profits can be, because your expenses are much, much less. And that's why, you know, using things like Amazon Kindle or CreateSpace get you started selling products at no cost. And it also means it's on a website that's already getting lots of traffic, which means you get sales, because they spend all that money on getting people to their sites who are looking for products like those you're going to release. And the same philosophy can work for shows as well. Bribe people. People hate the idea of going through entertainment agents who take 20% of your money plus VAT, sometimes more. But you know what? You bet, even if you had to offer 50% of your fee, 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing, especially if you put your prices up. I mean, put your prices up straight away. You may initially get less numbers of bookings, but overall, your actual total profit will be more, and you'll have done less work for it. And offer money, I mean, literally do offer money to people. I have been known in the past with a certain corporate agency that will remain nameless, in order to get work off them, So they would book me rather than any other stage hypnotist, which is how I managed to land going to Barbados and doing shows for Richard Branson, how I managed to be at the Hilton Hotel in Bahrain, where they have flipping 20-foot high billboards all down the streets. It was like I was some sort of superstar landing for this one night show. But you feel I was charging thousands of pounds for the night, but admittedly I was giving 50%. I offered 50%. I turned to this agent that normally charged 20% plus VAT and said, I will give you 50%, that's all in, 50% of any money you generate me, but my minimum fee for shows is, and gave them the bottom line, which obviously I'd appropriately put up to justify letting them take 50%. But the agent is then motivated to get you work because they're going to make more money out of selling you than they are another hypnotist. It is so plainly simple and obvious, and you probably sat there thinking, that seems too simple. That's ridiculously simple. And the answer is, you know what? It is. But most people don't think simplistically enough. The simple things do work best in life, I find.
Yeah, there's one thing I've just noticed. Jan has just put a question a few minutes ago while you were talking there that says,
Right.
isn't it only 1% who create a program this weekend, blah, 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 influencing their reputation, think about it, blah, 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 blah. And just saying, a lot of people know the things that we're talking about here. And, I'm quite happy to admit, there will be people who know the stuff we're revealing here. I didn't reveal these were out. We didn't, say that these were our secrets and nobody else on the planet knows this stuff. We said these are the secrets of the elite hypnotists. And let me put it this way. This year, I can't speak for Jonathan personally because we haven't discussed this, but this year personally, my business will turn over in excess of $200,000 and I just work for myself. I don't have any particular big costs. I just have a little room in my apartment that I use as an office, and that's it. I don't have any big costs or anything like that. Now, there won't be many hypnotists on the face of the planet other than the famous ones who can earn that kind of money in a year without putting lots and lots of effort into it. So what we described this was as these are the secrets of elite hypnotists. We didn't say these are the secrets and nobody else on the planet knows them. We just said that these are the secrets that people who are making more money are using. So these are the secrets that I would guess the majority of people in this webinar room certainly aren't using, and that's why we're sharing them with you tonight. Hopefully that kind of clears that one up. So the promise here is that we're sharing stuff that we are using to make more money. We're not saying we're the only hypnotists on the planet using this money. We just know that we're one of the small percentages of people that are. Every single one of you could go out there tomorrow and start implementing what we're teaching you, and everything will be hunky-dory.
Can I just say, because someone's commented, this seems, we already know this. Well, you know what? You may know it, but sometimes you find that people need a kick up the arse. Now, unfortunately, I'm not legally obliged to be able to mention the names of the television celebrity life coaches that I've worked on product development with in the past. All I can say is that my unique approach of complete mind therapy, I came up with a script that I licensed to therapists who can then record that, and it's structured in such a way that it can be sold. You only have to make one recording, but that one recording, given a different label on it and a different box and cover, can be sold under 1 million different titles. Because of the way it's structured and worded, it enables you to sell it as a improve your golf, or as smoking cessation. It saves you having to invest loads of time and money in getting loads of different products, because that one product does the lot. Now, people that are already, shall we say, at the top of the tree, so much as having TV shows and high-profile media coverage, have still not got themselves enough products out there. And I actually licensed my CMT script to them and encouraged them to get it out there on sale. And I know there are people listening who know actually who these particular individuals are I speak of, because they've actually got the audio disc. Oh dear, let it be known. There is an audio you can buy called Your Key to Being the Best Ever You, and if you search for that on Amazon and you were to buy it, and listen to it, you'd see it's a word for word identical to the script that I license to people. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because before sometimes people need a kick up the arse, even though they know what they should be doing. And it does become self-fulfilling. To become, somebody asked, how do you become the perceived expert? The answer to that, Gary, is that you become the perceived expert by creating those products. The first one that you put out gives you perceived credibility. You don't even need to write these products. Okay, here's even bigger secret for you. You know what? If you go, there's a book I suggest everybody gets called The 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Tim Ferriss. The 4-Hour Work Week. You'll pick it up for less than $10 on Amazon. And it's got all the resources in there for websites and contacts where you can literally, for like, I'm talking in the rounds of like $30, $40, you can get people in third world countries who are highly educated to work for you for a lot of hours. And at the end of it, for like less than $50, you will end up with a good couple of 100-page proper book manuscript that's been researched, that is quality content that's unique and new to you, that you can then go and publish through something like CreateSpace and get an ISBN number and take all the credit for having written it when you basically just outsource everything. That's one of the big secrets to getting started. The fact that initially...
just quickly, Chris says, what was the name of the book again? It's called The 4-Hour Work Week by a bloke called Tim Ferriss, and it's one of the first books I ever read on any of this stuff, and it's absolutely amazing. I haven't quite nailed a 4-hour work week yet. I've probably got it down to about a 10-hour work week. Stephen says it's also available on audio. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Oh, I wonder why. He's obviously implemented this system we're teaching you tonight.
He actually does say in the book that he used one of the sites to get it transcribed. Linux has asked, does it help to be a member of some of the known hypnotherapy organisations in the UK?
No.
My honest opinion on that is no. I don't honestly think it makes a huge difference in any sense. It is helpful to appear to be a member of a credible sounding organisation so that your clients can perceive that you are credible and what have you. And that's why anyone who studies with my good self automatically becomes a member of the Association of Complete Mind Therapists, ACMT, the Professional Organisation of Stage Hypnotists, POSH, and receives various diplomas and stuff that are accredited and endorsed by the Mind Care Organisation Limited, Personal Development Associates in America, the NLP Association UK. In truth, though, none of them are worth the paper they're printed on, but that's because there's no such thing as a legally recognised or required piece of paper for hypnotherapy, hypnosis, or NLP. Certainly not anywhere in England or the majority of Europe, and well, America for that matter. You just call it something different if you're in a state where you're not allowed to use the name hypnosis, which is kind of why Richard Bandler came up with the name neurolinguistic programming in the first place, to get around those laws. So it's just a perceptual tool for the client, really, nothing more.
Just to go back very quickly to Gary's question before, and then he's left a question for you, which I'll let you answer in a second. But Gary asked, what's the quickest way to become an expert? One of the things you have to ask yourself on is, what are you an expert on? So people might argue that Richard Bandler is an expert in NLP. Well, why is he an expert in it? Well, because he came up with it. He didn't. Well, you know what I mean. He created the term NLP and what NLP encompasses. So there's no reason why you can't come up with slap around the face therapy, where you treat people by slapping them around the face. Now, of course, I'm being facetious, but if you come up with it, then you are an expert in it.
And nobody can question you whether it's right or wrong, because you developed it and found that that's the right way of doing it.
Exactly. If it works for you, as long as as long as your client comes into the room and gets results, so as long as your volunteers come on stage, get hypnotized, do what they need to do, and then wake up again and feel wonderful at the end of it, and everyone's had a good laugh, you are the perceived expert, surely, as long as the person gets the end result. Now, Gary's just actually asked two questions. One was like, Jonathan, if you look five questions up, you'll see one that's aimed directly at you, and then another one just there.
Go on, which? Yeah, I'm just having a slight problem with this question window, as I can only sort of see one line at a time.
Oh, if you click on it, you should be able to see the full question appear at the bottom.
Oh, right. Oh, fantastic. I told you I wasn't particularly computer literate, guys and girls. Right, okay. Right. I still don't know. Go on, run it past me. What's the question briefly?
I'll read it exactly word for word. Gary says, how do I buy a doctor title like you so I have more perceived authority and a reverend as well? It's not. I'll reword that bit. Please tell me more about it. Thanks, Gary in Rochdale.
Okay, well, you search on Google for Universal Life Church USA, and I do believe off the top of my head it's www.ulc.org. I may be wrong with that, but if you search for Universal Life Church free online ordination, you'll get their site. You fill in the details online, and literally seconds later you are legally an ordained minister with the Universal Life Church, and also able to perform all religious ceremonies with the exception of circumcisions, and there's something else on the list, I forgot what that is, but you can do weddings and all that kind of stuff in America if you so desire. But basically worldwide, however, you definitely can call yourself a reverend, which, you know, if you were going to market yourself as kind of maybe rather than the hypnotist, perhaps a spiritual mind therapist, or it could be as a hypnotherapist, but you may go down some kind of religious marketing route, in which case the reverend comes in handy. Once you're a reverend with them, which costs nothing, the cheapest way of becoming a doctor is to buy a doctor of divinity or something, or a religious doctorate, which only cost about $40. Or you can find places that sound really fancy, you know, like Knightsbridge University or Chelsea University. Admittedly, they're not accredited universities, but as long as when you get the document, as long as you have knowledge and expertise, provable knowledge and expertise in that subject matter, then you are not committing fraud by using the qualification to say you've got that expertise. Because if you have, and you can prove it, because you've been treating clients, blah, 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 then you're not claiming anything false. Fraud is something that is not advised and you shouldn't be doing. But if you have got actual, genuine, real-life experience and knowledge, then you're doing nothing wrong there. But what you do need to do to make it legal is to get it apostled, okay? Now, this will cost you, I don't know what it is in America, what it will cost there, but in England, I know it cost me just short of £100 for it to go to the Commonwealth Office in London and get a seal on it. It was sealed, like with those fancy heat seals, and signed and what have you, that it was a genuine document. All it means is that they're confirming it's a genuine document, but under the Hague Convention, it means that that is now accepted as a legal document in any country under the Hague Convention, which arguably makes you able to say that you have a totally legal, bona fide degree in that subject matter. Unfortunately, one or two high-profile celebrities made the mistake in the past of not getting their shop-purchased degrees apostled, so the media were able to expose them and go, it's not worth the paper it's printed on, all because they'd not spent about £100 to have it apostled, which is a bit sad, really. But obviously, it just goes to show that something that is obvious when you know it isn't that obvious when you don't know it. But perception-wise, it's true. The phrase doctor does have a perceived connotation. You must make it clear on your website's law that you are not in any way, shape, or form claiming to be a medical GP, because that would be fraud. I always make it clear that my doctorate is in psychology. It depends what niche you're going to market to, really. But basically, that's the honest, direct to the point answer on becoming a reverend and a doctor. And yes, it does help you or it certainly helped me make more money. It also gives you some loopholes in the law, because if you're an ordained reverend, where there's certain laws applying in England to hypnosis and some other places, if you're doing it for freedom of religion purposes under the Human Rights Act, and you're an ordained reverend, then suddenly you've got massive loopholes in the law that you can use to enable you to be able to do things that otherwise might need fancy licensing and stuff like that.
I'm just looking through the questions box while you're chatting. I just want to quickly rattle off a couple of them, because we have now just about hit the hour mark, and I know that there are people. Glenn, first of all, who I guess now is gone, says thank you very much. I have to go now, but it was helpful. I'll be one of the 1% who uses this. That's good. Rob says, without mentioning out loud, and he's mentioned a certain insurance company. Is that the place for stage hypnosis insurance? It is a place for stage hypnosis insurance, but it's not the cheap one. I think mine last time I used them, it was about about £812 a year. I think I paid them for stage hypnosis insurance. John says, does anyone know where I can obtain insurance for stage and street hypnosis in Australia? I personally don't. I don't know if you do.
For Australia, I personally don't know. I would say for Australia, New Zealand, the areas, Red Blackwood, Hypnotists.com's probably the guy to contact who'd know.
Yes.
For England,
tell him we sent you.
Yeah, for England and Europe, the cheapest policy that I'm aware of that will get licenses granted where they're required and covers you in all the manners that are necessary is one that actually, well, as you know, you and myself spent many months negotiating, and only people who've actually studied certain health and safety materials and certain hypno materials that Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp members get are able to get that policy, but it actually only costs £125 sterling for £5 million coverage that covers you for anywhere, indoors and outdoor venues, anywhere in England or Europe. So, I mean, it's really, and you can extend it to pretty much anywhere in the world by ringing them up on a as and need basis for a small, tiny addition, as it were.
Paul says, thanks very much. This has been useful. I will also be one of the 1%. Good. Have to go now. Thanks again. That's good. Rob says, how many products would you recommend you create? Quick answer, the more you make, the more money you'll make, provided you do something with them. If you have one product and you only sell one a year, it doesn't matter if you've got 500 products, does it? So, whereas if you sell, if you can sell 10 of one.
The key is to get started. The key is to get started. Now, I know some people want a lazy man's option, and there is a lazy man's option. That's to go to somebody who's already done the work for you and say, look, can you give me, I want to get started selling products. Can you give me sort of a dozen different ebook products for the self-help market, things like improve your memory, create more abundance in your life, become more successful, how to achieve your goals, various broad topics that sell well, and buy ready written ebooks with resale rights, and also to go and get websites then designed for you so you don't need any technical skill, and also get some audio products as well. But that could cost you, it could cost you an awful lot of money to go and get a dozen, say, ready-made ebook products that you can sell, and half a dozen different audio products, and then go and getting all the different websites designs that you've just got to add your PayPal details to them, and you're up and running and making money. It could cost you a lot. Or, Rob, do you want to mention the ridiculous?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say the ridiculousness of what you've managed to twist my arm into.
Yeah, sure. Just to very quickly clear this out, Jan says, what a truth. What's the best hypnosis book? In my opinion, and this is me speaking here personally from experience, when I was 14, I studied Jonathan's, I don't know if it was even the extended edition then, or if it was the
It
original.
wasn't. It was a lot shorter then.
Yeah, it was the original, wasn't it? Yeah. Stage hypnosis book, which is just amazing. I did, in fact, I did my first ever stage hypnosis show just from reading that book alone. So I think that sums it up. David says, thanks guys, lots of info, blah, 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 blah. Just need to get off my ass. Yeah, most people do. Gary says, do I need a license to give seminars in the UK? Can anyone do it? Anyone can do it, provided you can sell them. Jonathan, are you doing any live seminars anytime soon in Rochdale? I'll let you answer that.
Actually, not until there may be one taking place towards the end of February, but actually, I think we're probably live-wise concentrating. There's going to be an event in the Somerset area of England in April 2012. So that's what we're mainly going to be focusing on. And obviously the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, because we've already got all the students that signed up for that before the doors closed. We've got the live webinars to do with them. 2 a month, every month for several months, starting in the new year as well, to back up with their training. So we're sort of moving a bit more virtual onto the internet.
So we have been online for just over an hour now. We've got so many good comments. I've not had time to read them all out, so I've just cleared them down. But thank you to everyone.
I hope everyone's downloaded the free gifts as well, because there's everything we've said is covered in there and a lot more besides.
Yeah, so in just a second, I'll be giving you a link to download your free gift that you can download the cool thing. Rob, I'll come back to you in just a second. So there is one quick bit of news. As you probably know, if you are our subscriber, last week we launched, well, after lots of persuasion, which took months, we launched something called the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, which was basically, I convinced Jonathan to put basically every piece of information he's ever taught into one package and then release it to the public. He said he would do it, but only on the basis that we would only sell 100 of them. So I thought, okay. So we released it. It sold out within the week, actually. And then we closed the doors on Sunday of what day are we now? Yeah, Sunday of last week at midnight. We have had a couple of slight issues in that a couple of people's payments haven't come through. So a couple of people, basically, it thinks they've put it on a card and somehow the card hasn't backed up to PayPal and it's revoked their payment and therefore cancelled their whole membership and the whole thing. With that said, we currently have, I need to ask you on this, I think, how many spaces do we have?
As far as I know, and to be honest, I've not spoken to Sarah, but it is 4, literally.
4, okay. We do have 4 spaces available in our Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp. I'm not going to give you a big pitch on this. We spent a week telling you what it was. Basically, it's every piece of information Jonathan's ever taught. It is over 100 hours of video training, audio training, ebooks, contracts, press releases, adverts, all the rest of it. Everything you could possibly imagine to do with being more successful. Whether you want to be a stage hypnotist, whether you want to be a hypnotherapist, whether you want to do corporate speaking, whether you want to be doing NLP, whether you want to do mind reading stuff, whether you want to become better at seduction, whether you want to do this stuff for money or just to improve your own life, everything you could possibly want is inside this package. Now, we actually released it. If you actually went around, you can buy all of the products separately apart from one. You could go around Jonathan's websites and buy all of the products individually, and it would cost you just short of $5,000. And honestly, I challenge you to do it cheaper. You cannot buy them any less than that. It's going to come to almost $5,000. So what I did was I convinced Jonathan to release it at an insane price. He wanted to put it out at a minimum of $1,000. I said, no, look, let's really make a bang in the marketplace here. Let's put it out at $297, which we did. We closed the doors, and that was it. As far as we were concerned, that was full. It was sold out. We weren't going to release it until the new year, and when we do, it's going to be at several $1,000s. So, with that said, we did have a slight problem, as I said, in that 4 people, from what Jonathan can see, 4 people's credit cards didn't back up the payment that they should have made. PayPal's revoked the money, and basically we didn't get the money. They lost their access to the material. With that said, we do have 4 spaces available, but we promised everybody, and we like to stick to our promises, we promised everybody it would not be available at the same price. So we have had to put the price up. Now, we haven't put it up to the thousands of dollars we're going to be putting it up to next year, but we have whacked $100 on it. Because, as I said, we're not going to put any scarcity tactics in this. We're not going to say that we're going to never release it again at this price and then release it at the same price. So we genuinely have to put the price up a little bit. We're not going to bother opening the sales page or anything like that again, because there is already a waiting list on this product of hundreds of people, and quite a lot of them are on this call, in fact. So we don't need to oversell this. People know what they missed out on. In fact, if you go to elitehypnosisbootcamp.com, you'll see there is a sold out page, which has a video that I recorded actually showing you everything that's on the sales page. Sorry, everything is in the members area. So if you would like to get your hands on this, there is a way to do it. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. The other thing, of course, is that I know there are a lot of people on this call, based on what the poll we did before. There are 41% of you who are intermediate hypnotists who actually have some ability already, 16% advanced, and 13% are full-time professionals. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we did get a lot of emails last week actually when we were launching Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, and there was a large amount of people that had already had a lot of my materials, and they said, look, I've already got the stuff, I'm already treating people, you know, all I really want to know about is not new techniques, I want to learn how to make money from what I'm doing now, which is why we've put together, basically, I asked Rob today, I said, can you take basically all the literally you know, almost a dozen ready-made ebook products, half a dozen ready-made audio products, together with websites to advertise them, together with sales letters and advertising templates for getting your smoking your weight loss clients, together with advertising logos you can use, together with complete step-by-step business plans, and a total of 18 hours of video that break down every marketing ploy I've ever used in the past 22 years to be able to travel the world doing this madness, whether it be on stage or in therapy. And it tells you exactly and shows you exactly how to get yourself on TV, on the radio, in the press, in magazines, how to get paid for them writing articles about you. So it's not you paying for adverts, them paying you to talk about yourself and plug your business in their publications and media. And that gets you loads of credibility and clients.
Just to very quickly jump in there on what you were saying, you know, this is everything that you need to make money from hypnosis, whatever area you want to be in. So let me sum this up for you very quickly in a very quick sense. And again, this sounds brash and arrogant, and I sort of apologize for that. I sort of don't. But let me tell you this. I'm 24 years old. I'll be 25 in July of next year. I'm 24 years old, which makes me one of the youngest working professional hypnotists on the planet anyway. Not the youngest, but one of them. I'm 24 years old, and I've been a full-time professional hypnotist for 8 years. Over those 8 years, I've performed over 1,500 live shows. It might even be over 2,000 now, but I've not counted for about a year. I've hypnotized over 10,000 people. I've conducted hundreds, I literally no idea, hundreds, maybe even 1,000 therapy sessions. I've performed in 9 different countries, from Las Vegas to the West End of London. And I have, as I said, this year my business will turn over $200,000 in sales. I have 15 of my own therapy products up for sale on the internet in different areas, selling stop smoking and weight loss and things like that. And now I train hypnotists as well at a minimum fee. If you work with me personally, it's the same with Jonathan, of £5,000 if you want to work with me personally. And I'm 24 years old, and everything that I know about getting work, I've appeared on national television here in the UK, including GMTV when it was about. For those of you in the UK, you'll know that was Good Morning Television, I presume it stood for. It's now Daybreak, but back in the days when I was 16 when I appeared on that, in fact. And I know that Jonathan's done far more, you know, national TV and radio coverage than I have. But everything that I know about doing all of that, I've released my own DVD. We've sold a couple of thousand copies of that. We sold out the show. Jonathan was my PR man for the show. We appeared on. I did radio interviews all over the place before the show. This material will help you to make money from hypnosis if you bother to implement it, if you go out there and do it. If you want to make 2012 your most successful year ever, then this
it sounds completely arrogant of me to say, but I will go as far to say that the Secrets of Hypnotic Success package we put together, which has got like nearly, let me do the maths, 17 or 18 hours of video, plus there's various audios, there's the business plans. This is also for stage as well as therapy, and there's ready-made products there. And ready-made websites to start selling them from. It's like a no-brainer. This is literally only available tonight, $97, which is about £60 UK sterling. If you cannot make more money when you have studied those videos, then as arrogant as this sounds, you may as well go and get a proper job and work for somebody else. If you can't,
don't do that.
It tells you exactly how to go from being a therapist who maybe only gets £60 therapy client to realistically being able to get £250, e.g. about $400-500 per treatment session. It tells you how to get the higher fees for shows. It tells you how to sell the products, and most of all, for those people of us out there who are lazy, and to be honest, I am a little bit lazy, but that's why I'm motivated enough to get products out there, because once they're out there, I don't really have to do anything, and I'm earning money while I'm asleep. You can do that, and we've made it easy for you because we give you the websites, the advertising templates, the sales letters. It's a business in a box. I hate that bloody saying, but unfortunately on this occasion it is actually, it's true. That's what it is.
Just to sum up the slide you can see on the screen there, Chris has actually just typed in the questions box, I got the boot camp and it's wonderful. Thank you, Chris. We'd love to get a testimonial from you, by the way, if you'd like to write a formal, just 2 or 3 paragraphs of a testimonial.
We'll just say, Chris, we'll just let Chris know, whatever you do, Chris, don't go buying the $97 marketing package, because you've already got all of that within the boot camp, along with hundreds of hours of other hypnosis training materials.
So just to really sum this up, if you are interested in being one of the 4 remaining students of the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, please go to elitehypnosisbootcamp.com/go, which is the top URL you can see on the screen there. Just go to your web browser now, you'll still be able to hear us, and type in elitehypnosisbootcamp.com/go. That will redirect you to PayPal and you can make your payment there. I'm afraid you've lost out on the initial price, but still you are saving thousands of dollars on the price. This Karen's actually just put, I agree. I was amazed with how much stuff was on there. Yeah, everybody's come back and said, God, I can't believe how much stuff's there.
Literally, if you only download one video at night time before you go to bed, set it downloading so you don't need to be near the computer, and then you study that the next day, and then that night download another. If you just spent literally an hour a day watching an hour's worth of video and just read half an hour's worth of the text materials, or listen to some of the audios for half an hour, it would take you the best part of a year to get through everything that's included. Now, you don't have to study everything that's in there. You can just do the fast track, earn as you learn. There's a 14-day study plan that teaches you enough to start making really good money, so that then you can actually go back to the other stuff as and when you want to further your education, as it were. So don't let it overwhelm you. It's just literally, when we say it's everything I've ever used in my career for the past 22 years, it quite literally is. But if you're already doing stuff, then, you know, in fairness, treat yourself for Christmas. $97, that's £60 sterling. You know, even if you only get 1 extra client a week, for the rest of your career,
yeah, you'll have paid that off.
Well, exactly. You know, it's madness. But I mean, the Secrets of Hypnotic Success package, it's like buying an half-decent meal out, 60 quid, $97, and you literally have got everything there you need to start making some serious money, and products to get you started as well.
Mm. So, yeah, the other thing, of course, is just to say thank you for spending some time with us and being on the webinar. You can also go to elitehypnosisbootcamp.com/free gift, which is the bottom URL there. You don't need to put your name and email address in or anything like that. There are just 2 links to download your free gift. Just right-click them. All the instructions are on the page. Right-click them, select the relevant option. You can download it to your computer. In fact, I can see the attentive rate on the webinar. We actually can see when people are clicking away from things. Randy says that link doesn't work. I'm just going to check it for you. It did on my computer.
Which gift? The free gift? It just worked on mine. Free gift part 1 zip, free gift part 2 zip. That's 2 hours of audio training. Yeah, make sure you right mouse click and choose the Save Link As option. Don't just click on it.
Which, just to double check, Stephen says it's working for him as well. If I'm just going to check, Randy is referring to the free gift link as opposed to the other two, although they should definitely be working too. I can see the attentive rate of the webinar is dropping down quickly. What that means is people are clicking away from the webinar to very quickly navigate to those websites. So that's good. Those little hazard type signs that Jonathan will be able to see on his screen. That means people are quickly doing something else other than watching the webinar.
Right, so cool. Well, as we said, the one that says SOHS training when you get to PayPal, that's $97. That's your 19 hours of video and all your marketing stuff. It's bizarre. Bizarre.
Basically, the other thing is we've set all of this up for immediate download. So as soon as you make your purchase, either in the other one, I can tell you that we've just had wow, okay. There are now only 2 places available in the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, so if you want this, you need to jump on it. And the only reason I know that is because I've just flicked PayPal up on my iPhone.
All right, okay.
Come in.
And you've got the notifications.
And 4 minus 2 is 2. So
can we just say that the people who are on the bootcamp, and I know there's some people online already, we will be contacting you just after Christmas with dates, because obviously in January, February and March each month there will be 2 conference call webinars, but that will be where we'll be specifically answering questions on the bootcamp content, so that you can get those people that are in the bootcamp can actually really, they've got then hours of direct access with Rob and me to clarify anything they want to.
Yeah, so we are going to start to wrap the call up fairly soon. We'll just answer a couple of other questions. David says he still can't get the free gift link to work. I'm not quite sure why. I've definitely just checked it and it is working on my computer. So you want to go to elitehypnosisbootcamp.com/FREEGIFT and it should definitely be working. I've just checked it. Now, Randy says it's not working for him either. Karen says it's working for her. Is the problem that you can't find the page, or that you can't download the
page is definitely there at my end, yeah.
Carl says it's working his end. Jarrett says type it in. Chris says his is fine downloading now. Randy says doesn't go to the page. Just out of interest, Randy, if you have you got the www dot in there? Okay. If you put on the end, then after the word free gift, if you put / then index .html and see if that loads for you. But I'm really confused because we got so many people are saying it's working, and it's working for me. Damien says both parts downloaded fine. Bobby says working fine here. We've got a demon in the system, folks. There's a gremlin somewhere. We're going to go gremlin, are they? Yeah, so everybody else, Jan says definitely working, so everybody else seems to be getting it. Link is working fine in Germany.
We may have to
maybe Randy's too far away.
Email.
Randy says no joy. Don't worry, Randy. If you email us to support@elitehypnosisbootcamp.com, she's not working now, but Sarah, our support assistant, will send you an email tomorrow with the links to that. Just explain. Oh, David says he's got it now as well. Desiree says it's working for her as well. So just Randy that can't get it. So if you email support@elitehypnosisbootcamp.com, and Sarah will, and just to say, Rob and Jonathan said email and they'll reply. Sounds great. Thanks.
Yeah, and she will do when she's in the office tomorrow with a direct link, so you can just download them.
Yeah, so we've, as I said, I've not actually checked since, but we've still got, last time I checked, a couple of places left in the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp. And I think Bobby says the bootcamp is excellent, by the way. Thank you. All these people who've already got it and are already on the call, you guys, as Jonathan said before, starting in January, I'm off to Vegas for a week over Christmas. I know Jonathan's having a nice, relaxed family Christmas. We are going to basically take the rest of this month off. So next month, in January, we're going to be holding 6 live training webinars for you. That's 2 per month for 3 months, where we're actually going to be answering all of your questions. And you know, if it takes longer than an hour, it takes longer than an hour. We wanted to give you guys a kind of an insight into what we do and how we work and how we think. and hopefully, we've had so many good comments tonight about people who've enjoyed the webinar, and that's really good. So if you are lucky enough to be one of the last 2 people to jump on the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, bearing in mind the next time we open this, and I have to refer to Jonathan here because it's really his decision, the next time we open this, it will be an absolute minimum of what?
We're really going to have to think about that, but I mean, the grief I've had off the missus and stuff, there's no way it's going to be any cheaper than $1,000. Probably more likely for 1,497, and even then it's a fraction of the worth, because with the business plan that's in there, you only need to get literally sort of 6 therapy clients and you've got your entire investment back.
The next time you see this, which is going to be next year now, we're going to be reopening it, refining the whole sales thing, and we'll have lots of then testimonials, of course, from the people who are currently members. Everyone, Bobby and Karen, who else was there? Bobby, Karen, and Chris.
Now, you know what the guys could always do? They could always go to that elitehypnosisbootcamp.com/SHS, Secrets of Hypnotic Success thing, and just invest 60 quid, which is like $97. Get all the marketing stuff, which will have them earning loads of money, because January is the good time for launching these press releases that are supplied, and getting your media coverage and stuff, and getting loads of clients in. And then when it is re-released at some point in 2012, they're not going to be bothered about paying $1,500 for it, because they're going to be raking that in every week for very, very little effort, using the marketing secrets that they've learned.
The other thing, of course, is that we might even, if you want to invest in the Secrets of Hypnotic Success today, I might be able to twist Jonathan's arm to at some later point when we relaunch, let you kind of upgrade to the full Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, because Secrets of Hypnotic Success is just one section of it, and I can 100% guarantee that when you've seen it, you'll think, I want to see the rest of the bootcamp. So I might be able to convince him to let you upgrade at a later date. So that's pretty cool. Carl says, is it a lump sum payment for the bootcamp, or can payments be made?
Pardon? Sorry?
Carl says, is it a lump sum payment for the bootcamp, or can payments be made? To be honest, this is going to sell out for us at the lump price.
Yeah, it is.
So unfortunately,
well, nobody's had. There hasn't been any payment plans. It's sort of it's a no-brainer.
So that's pretty cool. Chris says, thanks for all you guys are doing. Paul says, brilliant webinar. Thanks, guys. Randy's managed to get in, so that's good. Welcome.
Oh, cool. So that means he can get his free gifts. Fantastic.
Yeah. Jan says, thanks for the fun. Keep on rocking. Buy some more Christmas gifts this year. I have to finish my Christmas shopping tonight. Get it in. So that's
good, man. Very organised.
Says things. Chris says, worth every penny. Stephen says, thank you both. So that's really cool. Karen says, tell him if he uses his credit card. Karen must want a marketing job for us, I'm sure. Tell him if he uses his credit card, he can make payments. Yeah, that's true. Put it on a credit card, and then you can pay it off later in a later date. Steve says,
and if you actually then take action, if you take action with the marketing info that's in the boot camp, you'll be able to pay it off quicker, because you'll be making money.
Steve says, thank you guys, the boot camp rocks. Bob says, I got one of the slots. Thank you. Welcome to the program. Good to see you here. Thank you, Bob. Welcome to the program. You're really going to enjoy that. You should get straight access to register for it and get in. So you can actually be studying this in like the next couple of minutes, by the way, guys, if you jump on this now. Again, it's elitehypnosisbootcamp.com/go if you would like to grab the entire program for just $397. Next year, when we relaunch it in January, it's going to be a minimum, absolute minimum of $1,000. So, at some point next year, you might come back and say, oh, I didn't believe you, but it will be, I'm afraid. And we will be really keeping the space limited, because we don't want this to spread too wide, but we want just a nice number of people who are really serious about their future in hypnosis and being profitable from it to get their hands on this stuff. So you can actually be studying this in like the next couple of minutes. So that's cool. Rob says, keep us posted for future shows, please. Many thanks for tonight. Okay, that's cool. A lot of my work now is corporate work and private parties and things where I can't really bring people along, but any public shows I do, I'll certainly tell you. I know Jonathan's, a lot of his stuff is also very
It pretty much is all corporate these days.
It's all corporate stuff, yeah. Bob says, Bob D in New Jersey. Good stuff. Karen says, thank you. Info was informative. Good. A little hard for me because of the accent, but sounds nice. It's the Brits for you. Just going to go down these questions. I think we're answering pretty much everything. If you've got any questions about the bootcamp itself, by the way, guys, or about the secrets of hypnotic success, feel free to let us know, and then we're going to jump off the call because it is 1:30.
Make sure you've got your free gifts because there's some really useful marketing information in that 2 hours of free audio. But I would, if you want the marketing stuff, go to the EliteHypnosisBootcamp.com/SHS, and that's just 60 quid, which is like $97. If you know, it's a bit too close to Christmas for you to make that investment into your future. Just get the marketing stuff so that you can start making more money in January, and then you can pay off all those Christmas bills and clear your credit cards
And of course, it all comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee. Try it out for a year. Literally, test it. Do it for yourself. I know that you'll see. As long as you do it, as long as you take action, then you'll be fine. You'll see the same. Well, I can't guarantee you'll see the same results as I can, but that's illegal. But I'd find it highly likely that you'll do very well from it. I know I certainly did. So
the fact is, if you do nothing, one thing's guaranteed: you end up with nothing. So
that's what they say. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and assuming that you'll get different results. If you just keep not doing stuff, then you're not going to get very far. David said, so much stuff on Elite Bootcamp. I'm still downloading 4 days on. There you go. Now, obviously, that's a real indication as to how much is there. What we recommend you do is you study this over the course of a year. That you download an hour a day every day. For the first however many months that takes, and then.
So it's not overwhelming then.
Yeah, you're not going to get information overload, which is obviously quite dangerous. You want to download an hour, watch it, and then that's fine.
And follow the 14-day fast track guide. Yeah, the 14-day fast track guide. Follow that, and then 14 days from now, you'll know more than the majority of so-called expert hypnotists on the planet do, because I don't want to sound offensive, but I cut out all the shit and tell you what actually does make money and what does work and what does get results. And I don't give it fancy names. So if you're offended by swearing, it's probably best not to join the boot camp. If you're offended by the truth and having to sort of admit to yourself that perhaps you've been shafted over by other trainers in the past who misled you and not told you the full picture, then again, it's probably best that you don't buy into that. But if you're ready to actually be more successful, get better results, whether it's for stage or therapy, then the boot camp is probably for you, or most certainly the marketing information is, which is only available tonight, because that's not actually on the website. It's not something that's generally been made available, that offer.
Bob says, how do I get back into the bootcamp to begin the download? What should have happened is that when you finished your PayPal order, you should have clicked the return to merchant button, and that would return you to a registration page. And then once you're there, you can pop your name and email address in. That will complete your registration, and then it should take you straight to, then you have to confirm your email address, and then it'll take you to a download page.
If for some crazy reason you haven't done that, or you're not able to, then send us an email to support@EliteHypnosisBootcamp.com with proof of your PayPal payment. I'll personally log in, because Sarah's not in the office until the morning. I'll log in shortly after we end this call, and then I can reply to you with the link to get back to the download page.
Yeah, so Bob, right now, if you take your PayPal receipt and forward it to support@EliteHypnosisBootcamp.com, send it right now before we finish the call, and then Jonathan can log in and sort that out now, and then you won't have to wait any longer. Chris says he spent $3,000 for a 3-day course and didn't learn as much as the first day of studying your material. So,
fantastic.
That's a testimonial for you. Chris, you need to send us your photograph and you need to send us a 2 or 3 paragraph testimonial, tell us what you thought of the course, a link to your website if you've got one, and we'll pop it on our sales page when we reopen this. Chris says he will, that's good. We'll pop it on
And you know what we'll do, you know, the people that give us testimony, people that are in the boot camp next year are actually going to have a monetary making opportunity with us as well, because we're going to sort of buddy up with them. And when the boot camp launches again, probably around the $1,000 to $1,500 mark, which as you've just heard is remarkable value for money anyway, we're actually going to give the current boot camp members a chance to be joint venture partners with us and promote it via their social networking groups and what have you, so that they can make a very large commission for any sales they help generate for us, aren't we?
Yep, absolutely. So it's 25 to 2 in the morning here in the UK, so it is getting quite late. As far as I can see, we've got 1 bootcamp place left available, and I'll be taking down the Secrets of Hypnotic Success link in the morning. So we are going to go to bed now, and I know that when I wake up, the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp will be sold out, and that link will no longer work. In the morning, I'm going to get up and take down the Secrets of Hypnotic Success link, so that's very cool. Yeah, good stuff. So make sure you download your free gift from /free gift. Again, I'll probably take that down tomorrow as well. It's just for people on this webinar. So if you have any final questions about the actual product itself, rather than just about hypnosis in general, if you've got any questions, if you're sat on the fence, if you would like to take that one final place, you've got 2 minutes to ask us, and we'll be able to kind of set your mind at rest and tell you why it's such a great program. Just in case we've missed anything out. As I said, we don't want to over-pitch this. We don't want to oversell it to you. We don't want to over-hype it. We don't need to. So Desiree says, thank you for the gift. You're very welcome. So, yeah, you've literally got a couple of minutes if you'd like to say something. Otherwise, we will wrap up this call. If you've got any questions about the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp or about the Secrets of Hypnotic Success itself, Bob, it is that address, but without the www. It's literally just send an email to support@elitehypnosis.
I'm actually logged in right now this second, waiting for Bob's email so that I can immediately click reply and send through to you, Bob, your unique direct download link, which obviously you want to keep on file for when you go there in future. You obviously want to bookmark the page when you get it through this time.
Jared says, will we be able to get the Secrets of Hypnotic Success after Christmas? That wasn't a plan of ours. If you can, then it will be several $100s. We'll be talking $500 plus.
Yeah.
We're never, ever going to do it for less than $500 again, or less than $400. We might release it at, say, $497, but we haven't got any particular
plan to release it. You can guarantee it will not be that cheap ever again. No.
Gary says, do I need a license from the council to give seminars in the UK? No.
No, only if you were claiming to do something that required a license.
If you're going to hypnotise people.
If you're going to hypnotise people in the area of educational and training, then no. It's the 1952 Hypnotism Act doesn't cover things for scientific research or educational purposes. So no. Basically, it's a case of hypnosis. There's very few laws regards doing seminars. Now, if you're doing a public event, you might need premises license, especially if you're going to have a bar open, perhaps in an interval or what have you. And obviously, you need risk assessments in place and stuff that you'd need if you were booking any venue for any particular thing. But it's not to do with hypnosis per se. It's just the normal things that apply to all businesses. Well, I'm hoping that Bob's... We've still not had an email from Bob.
I'll just check and see if he's still in the room. Rob says, where can you download a copy of the 1952 Act? It's hard to find. It's not a kind of a raw... They haven't made it very publicly available. I think it's...
it's opus.gov. You just type in 1952 Hypnotism Act, and it's about the first thing that comes up. I think it's opis.gov or something like that.
Oh, is it? Years ago when I was looking for it, it was really hard to find. It was easy to find.
I mean, if you're in the boot camp, it's all in my books that as a boot camp member, you download Confessions of a Hypnotist, and that's got the entire 1952 Act in it, the 89 guidelines, and all the other laws, as well as telling you what all the loopholes in them are as well, and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna come on to say. The relevant bits, I gave up looking years ago. I was 14. The relevant bits were all in that book.
Hi, Bob. I just received your email. If you're still in the room, I'm clicking reply on it. I'm clicking reply on it right now. I will just double check that link is correct that I'm sending you. It is. I've now created your private link, so obviously keep that to yourself, Bob, because it will only work for you from your ISP. And I'm clicking send. So that's now left support at EliteHypnosisBootcamp.com and should be winging its way through to Bob, who has taken action. There's only one boot, I think, by the looks of it, but there's only one place left, isn't there?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be sold by the morning. We are ready to close this webinar down. Just to recap, one place left in the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp at $397. It will be gone by the morning. Even if it wasn't, we're going to take it off the market anyway.
Well, the Secrets of Hypnotic Success package, if you take action tonight, you can definitely grab hold of one of them for just 60 quid, which is $97, which is all the marketing stuff.
Literally, I'm going to leave that up till I get up in the morning, which will be about Saturday tomorrow. So, well, I rely on every day, but it's Saturday tomorrow, so I'll probably get up about 11 o'clock in the UK, and I'll log on and take it down after I've had my breakfast. So you've got, a good 12 hours. You've got a good, nearly. I'll give you 12 hours. You've got a good 12 hours to grab your copy of that, and then I'll be taking that down. Next time you see the chance to get it, it will be an absolute minimum of $497. Because I know, I wouldn't let it go for any less than that, let alone Jonathan. I know he'd want a lot more than that for it. So that's cool. All right then, folks, we're going to wrap up this call now. It's been really good to have you here. We've had so many good comments and positive feedback and stuff. Welcome. If this Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp was our kind of first major, if that was kind of first major introduction to us, then welcome. We're really pleased to meet you. We look forward to working with you over the next kind of year or so. We got so much great content to give you. Even if you've not bought into the bootcamp, if you've not bought into Secrets of Hypnotic Success, we're going to be keep your eye on your inbox. Look for the names Jonathan Royle and Rob Temple landing in your inbox. We're going to give you lots of valuable content. We're going to be doing some fantastic new products and training courses over the next 12 months. We're planning some.
And every now and again, because we're a bit soft, really, we will, occasionally give you the chance to get your hands on some stuff for free, like tonight, because those 2 hours of audio you'll find really useful if you put into action what's inside them.
So we are going to do that. Bob says, got everything from the email. Jonathan, thanks for all. No problem, Bob.
Fantastic. And just make sure you write mails, click it, like it says on the top of the download page. Save target as, or whichever version it tells you for your operating system. Don't just click on the link, otherwise it tries to open it in a different window, and then it takes forever and stuff. Actually, I'm sure you will, Bob, but we just had one or two people going, oh, it's not downloaded. That's because they've not right mouse clicked and clicked save as.
Just read the instructions. It's very simple. Right click on the link, and it will either say save as, save link as, save target as, or download linked file. It just depends on what operating system you've got, what web browser you've got, and things like that. So yeah. So as I said, I've not checked, but I'm assuming there's still one place left in the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp. That will be gone by the morning. Secrets of Hypnotic Success will be gone about lunchtime tomorrow in the UK, and you can still get your free gift. Again, I'll take that down at lunchtime tomorrow in the UK as well. It's now today in the UK. And all will be hunky-dory. We are going to be running some cool live training events, both in the UK and in America, maybe even more internationally as well. We've had a lot of people asking us about that, people who've subscribed to our list. Otherwise, if you want to be more successful, if you want to make 2012 your most prosperous, profitable, and happy year of your career, then follow us. We'll help you to get there. Yeah, that's cool. We look forward to working with you all. So from me, I'm going to say good night. It's time to draw this webinar to a close, and I'll let Jonathan sign out himself as well.
Well, yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Those of you on the boot camp, really do look forward to speaking to you on the live coaching calls after Christmas. For those who are perhaps getting your hands on the marketing stuff, I wish you real success in January with getting your media coverage and getting more clients. And to everyone, whatever your faith, your religion, your personal convictions or belief, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, have a fantastic time over the coming season. And best of luck to all of you. Thanks for listening in.
Bye for now. Good night, everyone.